Okay, now that we have defined split zone, we'll get into more detail for fall fits. So we've already introduced the difference between plug fits and fall fits, but now we're officially installing fall fits as we've defined split zone. Remember, we call the tight end the mover if he's off the line of scrimmage, especially in a relay or parkway alignment where he has a higher probability of falling back after the snap. If he falls back, it changes the run fit, so the linebacker's eyes always start on the mover if there is one. Most of the time against a one-back look, we have 3 gaps to fit. In this picture, 4 defensive linemen would already be taking care of 4 of those 7 gaps, so it's on the 3 fitters to fit the rest. Okay, so a plug fit is when after the snap, that mover maintains his gap, so our 3 gaps remain the same and we plug them. But that fall fit is when that mover falls back after the snap, like in split zone, and as the mover falls back, he takes his gap with him. Remember, our linebackers key the mover, so if he falls back, they communicate back, back, back after the snap to alert all 3 of our fitters to fall back 1 gap. This is the introduction to post-snap communication. All post-snap communication is verbal, since we're visually looking at the opponent, so we're not going to look at each other for visual communication. We must be loud and clear in our post-snap verbal communication. And remember, the ideal goal of post-snap communication is to confirm what we've already anticipated, like in this exact example. Plug fit versus fall fit. Plug fit means gaps remain the same, so we don't communicate anything post-snap. And fall fit means that 1 gap disappeared on one side and ended up on the other, so we communicate back, back, back. And the fitters fall back 1 gap. Okay, so here's an example. If the call is +1 rat, the 4 down linemen have the 4 gaps that they're responsible for. It leaves us with 3 open gaps to fit. We have the 2 linebackers in the run fit, and the safety rotation determines the 3rd fitter. So here it's down, left, rotating down on the tight end on the Y. So the 3rd fitter is the left safety, the boundary safety. And that leaves the dime and Mike with the middle and right open gaps. Okay, but at the snap, the tight end then falls back. He takes his gap with him, so we loudly and effectively communicate back, 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 and we fall back 1 gap each. Okay, so first, I want you to draw tray formation in your notes. It's vitally important to recognize tray formation. As we begin to install defensive plays, you'll notice that there are almost always exceptions to tray formation. For example, in cover 3, if we're rotating to the Y, we won't rotate to the Y against tray because we'd be rotating away from all 3 receivers. And the language of the rotation contradicts the run fits. So there are 3 separate ways we fit tray formation based on the call. If we are in cover 1, say +1 rat, these are the 3 gaps to fit. The dime and the Mike are in the fit. Now notice, the left corner traveled over with the Z receiver because we're in cover 1. Tray formation is the top formation an offense can align in to tell pre-snap if the defense is in man or zone. So we would classify this formation as the top man zone ID formation. So there is no corner on the left side of the tight end when we're in cover 1 versus tray. Corners cover receivers and safety covers the tight end. So it's down left, the left safety rotating down on the Y and taking the D gap. And that leaves the 2 inside backers with the A and B gaps to fit. So simple, no different than 1 rat versus dual or trips Y or any other formation because the safety is rotating down on the tight end. So that's cover 1 versus tray. But here's where the exception comes. Let's say we're in cover 3. Let's say the call is plus fly, where we're rotating down on the Y. The 4 defensive linemen take their 4 gaps, and the 2 inside backers are responsible for 2 of the 3 open gaps to fit, just like one rat. But as I said earlier, Trey is an exception to many calls. In fly, we rotate to the Y, but here in cover 3, zone, the corner does not travel over with the third receiver. He stays with the passing weakness. Against Trey, we're not going to rotate the safety down on the Y, where we already have a corner. So this would be a safety rotation to the right, Rob or Rita. Well, the safeties never rotate outside the nickel, so we have ourselves a Rita rotation here, right inside the damn sandwich. And we have ourselves an I'm here corner. When a corner says I'm here, he's saying, hey linebackers, I know the safety's saying Rita, 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 so you might think that third fitter's coming from the right, but I'm also here in the run fit as well, opposite that rotating safety. So you're hearing Rita, Rita, but also I'm here on the left. I'm the primary third run fitter. That's what that corner is communicating. He is the third primary run fitter. So that leaves the inside backers with the middle and right gaps because of that I'm here corner. And that rotating safety is just extra run support from the right. With that, our linebackers are ultimately 2 gap fitters, where there's a safety rotation and an I'm here corner. If the run flow goes to our right, then the dime and Mike take the middle and right gaps, and that right B gap would have 2 fitters accounting for it. And if the run flow goes to our left, then the dime and Mike take the 3 open gaps to plug. So we've covered Trey run fits out of 1 high defense, cover 1 and cover 3. But what if we're in a 2 high defense, cover 2, 4, 6, or 8? Let's say the play call is float, fist, pound. Don't worry about the details of that call. Float is a 2 high version of the plus front. Fist just means we're activating the field end to play a heavy technique and take the B gap in this case to ensure that 2 of the 3 open gaps are the edge of the core. Again, don't worry about memorizing all this right now. We'll install cover 4 later, but for context, in a 2 high call, the linebackers are work aligned, not gap aligned. And the Mike's work is the number 3 receiver counting from the outside in. So X is 1, Z is 2, and S is 3 in Trey formation. So the Mike lines up outside of the core with the slot receiver, but both backers are still in the run fit. And we have the I'm here corner because there's no receiver threat to that passing weakness side. So the I'm here corner and the 2 inside backers, the dime and the Mike, take the 3 open gaps to plug. But if we're in cover 4 or 8, if we're playing quarters to the passing weakness, remember the defensive back away from the running back is also in the run fit. So with the back to the field, the boundary safety is technically in the run fit, so he's additional support away from the back. He's essentially an additional I'm here defender should the offense run the ball. Okay, so back to this split zone play that the Colts ran for a touchdown. Let's evaluate what went wrong for the Raiders on this fall fit. So if we pause it here, look at the linebackers, 59 and 50, and we're saying that the safety is number 25. He already rotated down before the snap, which we don't want to do. We want to show too high. But he's the third fitter. 59 has this left B gap. 50 has this right A gap. That defensive end 96 actually has the C gap, and 25, the safety, has the D gap fitting off the tight end. Now, we alert a fall fit, right? If the tight end falls back, that would mean 25 now has the right A gap, 50 has the left B gap, and 59 is fitting off the tight end. What happens? 50 sees the fall fit, falls back with him, but look at 59. 59 plugs his B gap, which is what 50 should be falling back to, and then 50 gets too wide because he's confused. He sees that 59's not there to play the D gap off the tight end, and it's the parting of the C's. Let's watch this Lions split zone, see where it went wrong with the Niners. So now 12 personnel, but 4 down linemen, so you actually have 4 gaps to fit. 57 is fitting off the left tight end. 54 is fitting the left A gap. 48 is fitting the right B gap. And 31 is fitting off the right tight end. Okay? Now, remember, the right tight end is who ends up executing the split zone, slicing back, taking his right D gap and putting it actually as an E gap on the left. Watch all 4 defenders recognize split zone except one. This goes back to do your job. If everyone fits their gap, we're fine. But all it takes is one player to mess up, and a good running back, a good offense is going to gash you and make you pay. Watch 48. All the other fitters flow left, falling back with the tight end. 48 plugs his B gap instead of falling back to the left A gap on the fall fit, and guess where the running back runs it? Right through the open gap that 48 failed to fall back to. Simple fall fit. Day 1 fall fit, screwing it up in the NFC Championship game. Again, don't take it for granted. These are professionals in the NFC Championship game screwing up something that's a day 1, day 2 install. Okay, here's the Raiders. You can see our 3 fitters, 51 on the right here, defense is left. 59, the Mike, and then 25, the safety rotating down on the tight end. So the safety has the D gap off the tight end. 59 has the A gap. It's actually kind of lined up in a 30 technique. Really should be a 20 with the back away. He's got the A gap. He's got the angle. And then 51 has the B gap. When the tight end falls back, 51 is going to fall to the new D gap off the tight end. 59 off the B gap in front of that dime. And 25 falls all the way to the A gap. Now, who screws up here? 59 does not fall with the mover. Guess where the running back runs it? Right through that A gap he was supposed to fit.